Searching for some peace of mind. Leo. Hello everybody, welcome back. Sorry for that delay. We had some sound issues and for some reason I'm only coming through one of your ears, but it doesn't matter. You don't want to miss out on the action. So as we jump straight in, 9, win round number 3. Take things 2-1, and Helvete right now sitting on 2k. And they're going to have to go for an eco here, which will allow 9 to get themselves on to 3. A very, very good start from the Turkish side, obviously this late in the bracket. We've got a couple of very, very strong teams, 9 on T8, very well on the Turkish side, and well, Helvete, whilst they're a mix, there's some very, very strong Swedish names. Definitely a force to be reckoned with and a good matchup on the Turkish side. Kevin falls early though for Helvete. Gives 9 the man advantage. Obviously only Glocks to work with, a flashbang and complex. Realistically just looking for maybe 1 or 2 frags in this round, possibly a bomb plant. Unlikely that they'll be able to find it though with a minute left on the clock. Still yet to take any control, and as Pepsaw takes the fight onto Izzy, he does get his head ripped off. Minimal damage dealt as well. They've now got a 2-man advantage, and Izzy's hungry for more, finds himself one, but as Redzy thinks him, Sapek's able to capitalise. If now needs to swing out, cleans up one, but as Complex trades it, it's actually not the worst round in the world for Helvete. Despite the fact that they had a 3-man disadvantage, they only had the Glocks, they managed to find themselves 2 kills, take the weapons out of 9's hands, meaning that they do have to reinvest, and while their bank is still looking pretty strong, is a myth right now. It's very, very low cash. Helvete now got the money to pull out the buy round. Not enough for an AWP, of course, but AKs all round, a decent amount of utility for them to work with as well. The only real issue is the lack of offensive utility. No Molotovs, only 1 HE now that 1 more's been thrown. Leaves them just with the flashes and the smokes. Good for taking a site, but not good for flushing out those angles. Obviously you can use those smoke grenades and the flashes to isolate fights. Try and give yourself an avenue to get onto the bomb site, but all those little corners that you need to clear out, like pit, like the back of sight, you use a Molotov. The flash comes in though, they swing right out top mid, and Redzy, a fantastic spray transfer, means that they walk straight into brackets with ease. Koitner finds himself 1 onto Redzy, but as he gets traded, it leaves Cider all alone on B. And no doubt about it, he's going to go for this save call. That is a fantastic execute from Helvete. The flashes were absolutely perfect. And 9, despite the fact that they had a 3-man setup on short, you'd think there's absolutely no chance of them losing those fights. They lose every single one of them. So 9. Well, whilst they remain on 3, Helvete start to close the gap as we go 3-2. 9 should have the money in this next round to buy up again. Cider, of course, will be able to drop a weapon over to Myth. Izzy might be able to buy, but failing that, Koitner should be able to drop him a rifle. And they'll definitely have a buy into this next round, but whether they'll have an AWP or not is another question. Only person that could realistically buy one is Cider. So, Helvete, a decent chance for them to level things up here, especially if that buy round is anything to go off of. And in fact, 9 have taken a timeout. I think they were pretty thrown off by that one. They want some time to discuss what their move is here, whether they're going to invest into this round or whether they're going to sit back. Obviously, no loss bonus for them to work with as well, since they've won the majority of the rounds so far. They've got no loss bonus, meaning that Izzy and Myth are sitting on minimal cash. Xcloud really hasn't got a lot of money to work with either. It's looking like they are going to go for the buy, as Cider's actually dropped 2 M4s. Koitner should be able to do the same, and they should have a half-decent buy to work with. They're going to need to change things up a little bit, though, off of the back of that Helvete buy round. It was very, very clear that they have their executes practiced. Despite the fact that they are a mix, they know exactly what they're doing. In fact, I don't know a huge amount about this roster. These guys might not even be a mix. These guys could be an Orgless team. I actually don't know. I know a little bit about a couple of the players, but these guys as a collective, I don't know enough about to comment upon. Nine, though, obviously have brought up into this one. And they should have the money for the util they want. I forgot how long Face-It timeouts were. This is a very, very long timeout. Gives both teams plenty of time, though, to discuss what their plan of action is going into this round. And obviously, both teams have got 5 timeouts, so using one on round 6 isn't the worst idea. Of course, observing this match today is our wonderful observer, Ids Randall. Fantastic work on the observing, as always, and you'll be seeing a whole lot more of him as the Fight Night qualifiers continue, and of course, the main event later on in August. Right now, though, round number 6 is underway. Helvete opening things up with Sapek finding one onto Koitner. That's going to leave Cider on low HP. He's going to have to fall right back to the site. He has got his teammate Izzy there to support him. But for now, they're pretty scared. They've given up the banana control. They haven't really got any util left to work with either, except a smoke and a flash. Helvete getting closer and closer. Right now, they're not committing to anything, though. They've taken a huge amount of map control. The bomb's still in mid. Yet to decide what they want to do. For now, just maintaining the banana in the apartment's control. Pepsor wants to find himself one as a player on pit. The nade comes in, does a little bit of damage, but well, not as much as I feel it should have. 50 seconds on the clock now. Helvete need to work out what they want to do and make their move, and it's looking like it's the B site they're going to go for. They got the kill there earlier on in the round. They should be expecting 2 players here. But they also should know that Side is up on CT. As the smoke comes in, he might be able to get himself one. With that low HP, he won't be able to see. He gets flashed and they charge right in. Cider finds one, drops off. He's actually been given the opportunity to do so as Izzy finds one more. The man advantage now lying in Nine's favour. As Izzy falls, leaves it into a 3-on-3. Cider's going to play things slow, wait for his teammates to rotate in, and they're going to go for this 3v3 retake. Cider desperate to find himself something to open things up. But Helvete, they've been given the time to get the post plants. This is going to be so difficult for Nine to break right now. A good smoke's going to isolate the banana player. In fact, both banana players, as Helvete really put all their eggs into one basket. Keve, the only player sitting in pool, is going to get taken down. And now Pepsor has to be boosted over the smoke. He spots one, gets himself the kill. He should be able to spam through the smoke kid to stop the diffuser. He only gets one though as Xcloud. He's holding it. The diffuse comes in time. Redzy takes him out after the bomb's been defused, but Nine still come out on top. Despite winning the round now, they really haven't got a lot of money to work with. Every single player on their side died. So going into round number 7, Helvete will have the firepower advantage. 4 AKs, an AWP, full utility, and they're faced up against what right now is, well, not a whole lot. 3 FAMASs, an MP9, an M4 on Izzy with not a single piece of utility for them to work with. And as Pepsor opens things up early on to Xcloud, it's going to make things even harder. Helvete so far have been so good at finding that opening frag. Unfortunately, in the last round, it just did not work out for them. And as Myth, well, can't connect the early shot onto Pepsor. He's given away his position. Helvete just going to maintain their control. They've got the man advantage and they don't want to lose it. 5 versus 4 now as Helvete all grouped up in the brackets area. Looking like they might try and go towards A, but they've actually smoked off long. They could go for the wraparound here as well. It's really their call to make. They've got no one over towards Banana though, so I think that's very unlikely. Instead, they're going to try and wrap around long, take these long-range fights with the pit players. Izzy though pokes his head up, opens things up with the first, levels things back out into a 4-on-4. But as no one's coming from short, they've got a good chance of doing this, but Redzy and Sapek not going to let it happen. 2 crispy headshots to eliminate the A defense, and now it leaves Cider and Koitner last alive. A 2 versus 4. not the weapons you want to work with either. And as Keve finds Cider, well, it leaves one player last alive. 4 for him to find, and, well, he doesn't favour his chances. He's going to sit right back, try and find himself an exit frag, see if he can grab an AK on an unsuspecting player falling right back. Actually starts to creep in, but yeah, he knows he's got no chance here, no kit as well. Really just wants to find himself an AK. And for now, he's not going to find himself anything. Helvete exited perfectly. In fact, though, Sapek, well, I think he underestimated how much damage the bomb did in that corner, because he's fallen to the bomb. 9 still ahead by 1. Helvete desperate to try and close this gap, level things up. Quentner actually somehow managed to find himself an AK in the closing moments of that round as well. No idea how he managed to grab that one. The bomb might have blasted it towards him. Either way, though, really not a whole lot for them to work with. They have forced into it. Of course, they would be on a double eco otherwise, and they've got the AK to force around. Redzy, as he starts to creep down to Boiler, quite unsuspecting that there's 4 players up close, and he might get caught out by this setup from 9 as he swings out, finds himself 1, but instantly traded by Izzy. That's going to give them another AK to work with as they find themselves in a 4-on-4. The people up close from Xfloud. He does get taken down, but Quentner swings. That brings it back into a 3-on-3. One more AK for them to work with, but Cider's unable to retrieve it. Dapek desperately trying to find this headshot. He is able to come out on top. So it brings it into a 3-on-2, but a very doable situation for 9. They've got 2 AKs, a fair amount of utility on Quentner as well. And they're both on full HP. If they do go for this retake, Helvete, they've got no opportunity to take post plants either. They can't get into CT, they can't get into Banana. They're all trapped onto the bomb site, and they need to win the aim duels. The Orb, of course, trapped into the corner, might be able to find himself something. But as Izzy's up close, they're not giving them anything to work with, and with no kits, they know they haven't got the time to go for this one. They're going to make the early save call, fall right back, take those AKs into the next round, and Helvete have managed to pull it off. It was looking a little bit shaky in the opening moments of the round, but of course that's what happens when you put a 4-man stack over towards A. Unless they go for a huge commitment over on A early on, they're going to expend a couple of players, and then when they die, they say, right, let's just go over towards B. There's clearly only 1 player there. Find that kill, and that is theirs for the taking. So, they've leveled it up, 4-4 right now. 9, no money in the bank to buy around these AKs either, and they don't want to risk going for another force like they did last time with the Deagles. Instead, they're either going to hope that these AKs make a huge play, which they're putting Quentner in a position to do so as he's walking up mid, or they just let this round slip. But as he finds himself too early on, that's Complex and Peps are out of the equation. He does finally get traded, but that man advantage might just be what they need, and Cider's in a fantastic position as well. It all just comes down to whether he checks his left and realizes Sapek's here. He's able to do so, but the trigger discipline. Oh no, it all goes horribly wrong. Sapek checks his left, and it brings it back into a 3-on-3. Myth creeping up from behind, but I think they've heard the sound cue. Xfloud might be able to find himself something. He messes up the spray though as Redzy comes out on top. Of course, Xfloud had no Kevlar in that situation, so it's very, very difficult for him to find that kill. Myth with the Deagle 1 league though. Brings it into a 2-on-2. That's the bomb down as well, as Sapek and Redzy have to retrieve it. 55 seconds on the clock for them to do so as well. So many angles for them to clear, but Sapek, a fantastic headshot onto Izzy. It leaves Myth last alive, no Kevlar to work with. 2 versus 1. He has got the AK though. And he's got, well, almost full HP. He swings out, might be able to find Redzy. Not going to happen though. Redzy is far too quick. He lands a beautiful headshot to put Helvete on top. That round should not have been as close as it was, but with Quentner opening things up with 2 very nice headshots, it meant that they had a lifeline to work with, but with no Kevlar, it made it very, very difficult to hold on to. Nonetheless, 9, they've got the weapons now to try and level things back out 5-5, and this game so far is shaping up to be a much closer one than I initially anticipated. Of course, 9 statistically are the stronger side. However, if you really break it down to the players, Helvete got a lot of talent on their roster. Izzy right now holding this tight angle with the AWP, spots the arm, but as he gets flashed, he just is forced to shoot and hope that it connects, and it doesn't for now. They charge straight through the Molotov. It's only Sapek to take the damage, but it's getting up close to Library. Well, he could have pushed in and found the kill onto Izzy there, but instead he charges onto the site where he meets his death. It's xFloud to take him out. Pepsor trades it though as Myth trades it back. Redzy on the other side of the smoke finds himself one onto Cider, but as Izzy gets a refrag onto Complex and he gets the trade onto Redzy, it leaves Keve all alone in a 1 versus 3. He's on short. They should know his position as well. And he knows he's got no real chance of pulling this one off. He might even go for the save call, but right now he's wary that someone's pushing up from behind. It's unlikely he'll go for the save here. They've got so much money to work with. He's wary of the AWP there. Perfectly jiggle peeks it, baits out the shot. That's going to allow him to cross. That is going to make his position known. Should hear the sound cue of the player falling back from CT as well. If timing works out, he might be able to turn around and get it. Not quite though. That is going to allow Quintner to fall right back onto B. But it does mean that Keve has got a nice 1 versus 1, and if he's able to find it, he can get onto the B site. Time is of the essence though, 10 seconds left. He should know where the player is. He can't find himself the kill. It came very, very close, but he had to just charge in and take the gunfight, and he did not come out on top. So 9, level things back up 5-5. Helvete though, plenty of money in the bank to buy around this one. Complex, able to drop a couple of teammates, and I want to say that was a misbuy, but I don't think it was. Keve, actually, he's thrown it over to Redzy. They're playing past the P90 right now, as it does go back over to Keve, and he's going to be the one to wield it. Nice early nade damage onto Sapek. Gets him down to 46. There's a minute 30 on the clock. Helvete taking a fair amount of control early on. That's something that 9 aren't really doing. They're not getting aggressive. They're not contesting this banana control. They're not contesting the apartment's control. They're just holding these sites, and they seem to be doing it rather well. As the boost goes up, Side has got to be wary not to swing out too wide, or he might get punished. Complex, of course, sitting very high up at the moment on the shoulders of his teammate with that AWP. Sapex drops. The boost does collapse. They are going to aggress, try and take some more control. 50 seconds on the clock now. They need to well, start making a decision as to where they want to end up. The CT smoke going to cut off their avenue onto B, and it's looking like the bomb is going to fall back, and they might try and work something over towards the A bomb site. Pit's been smoked. Means that 9 have to reposition right now. Myth, though, going to play the mind games, actually sit behind the smoke. As Helvete fall right back, regroup together, head over towards A, but with 25 seconds on the clock, they're cutting this one fine. Izzy can't connect the shot early on. He's desperate to connect it onto the P90. He does find it as Keve gets too close for his liking. Does a bit of damage, but can't convert the kill. They're charging right onto the A site now. xFloud holds it up, though, with this for Mass. They only need to hold up for a few more seconds. 10 seconds now on the clock. xFloud still alive. Helvete, they just couldn't deal with him. Very nice shot from Complex, though, but he's got no time to get the bomb down. And it is going to be another round for 9. Complex just desperately wants to save this AWP in the closing seconds. And he will be able to do exactly that. If he dies there, he gets no money. They can't bring the AWP into the next. They'd have no money to buy one as well. So it could have been very, very dangerous. I think Helvete, that was doable. That was a doable clutch for Complex if he had more time. And actually a doable site take for his teammates if they have more time too, because they can play those fights more methodically and use their utility to clear out the backside player. But instead, they ran down the clock to 20 seconds and then desperately had to get onto the site. And it meant that they just pushed in one by one. xFloud, well, he thrives in those situations and he came out on top. No problems at all. Zapek, early on, gets taken down to 15. Obviously, Helvete now, though, not a whole lot to work with. Zapek, the only one that's really invested anything into this one with the Deagle Kevlar. Kevy's bought himself a P250, but Redzy and Pepsor are just down to the Glocks, and of course Complex with the AWP that he saved in the last. He's the playmaker here, needs to open something up for his teammates to work with. Redzy charging right in. He's going to be the bait with the Glock, and they deal with him, no problem at all. Cider, a nice straight spray transfer. Quintner, though, does get taken out by the AWP of Complex, and as Complex finds himself one more, if he can connect this shot on CT, this could be their round for the taking, but he can't do it. Izzy comes out on top, and Keve now last alive. He has retrieved himself an AK, but no Kevlar, and 3 to find. 40 seconds still on the bomb as well for him to hold this one up. As Izzy, Xfloud and Myth coming in for the retake. They should know exactly where he is as well, and Izzy, well, he's holding for it. Comes out on top. 9 put themselves onto 7, and they extend this gap. Helvete, of course, will be able to buy into the next one. But as we're coming into the closing rounds of the first half, 9 so far are the ones that have pulled away. Let's see if they can keep this up. Make this a quicker game. Or whether they well, trade rounds back and forth like they have been doing so far, and it ends up being a close one. So far, nothing really breaking these teams. We could have an overtime on our hands if this continues. Molotov on the corner. Going to make Izzy fall right back. Means that whilst 9 try and contest banana control early, even if Helvete don't want to take it, with a couple of simple Molotovs and flashes, they can force them right back. And then 9 don't want to re-aggress and try and retake the banana control. Instead, they just play a very, very passive B hold. For now, as the sound cues over towards A have been heard, they are looking like they're going to, well, they've taken a little peek down banana and not seen anything, so they will rotate 2 players over. That's going to mean that if Helvete don't speed things up, they're going to be faced against 4 players, but it doesn't matter. Xfloud and Myth find themselves 2 to open it up. Kevin trades out Myth, but as Xfloud still alive to cause havoc, he finds himself 2. He's doing so well as the A-site anchor, finding himself multi-kills almost every round. Cider, timing works out in his favour as he manages to get up short just before that Molotov blooms, and he's able to find himself 1 onto Complex. It leaves Pepsor now in a 1 versus 3 with the AK and Pit. His position's known, and he has to reload. Will he expect the player coming up from his right? They're closing him from all angles. He does a lot of damage onto Cider, but he cannot finish him off. And it means that 9 put their 8th on the board. They've won the half, and they've got 3 more rounds to extend their half-time lead. So far, playing very, very well. Helvete, they have surprised me. But can they really pull it off? Have they got what it takes to beat an established side like 9? Molotov's raining early, does a little bit of damage to Pepsor. The jump spot's going to be there. Not sure if he spotted anything, but the nade should go down nonetheless. Oh, that is a hefty grenade. Complex down to 40. Sapek down to 60 as well. Some dangerous early damage. It means that, well, those M4s not having that one-hit headshot potential no longer really comes into play. And actually right now, 9 are sitting with 2 AKs, so that doesn't matter too much anyway. 4 players now, though, for Helvete, stacked up over towards Banana, looking like they are going to go for the take. A gap in the smoke, though, for Cider to work with if he chooses to abuse it. Instead, going to jump onto second oranges. A fantastic angle, but the sound cue's heard. Sapek swings and finds himself the kill. Izzy now desperately trying to hold up or buy some time for his teammates to rotate. He only finds himself 1, but he does so much damage. Now Complex and Redzy both down to 14 and 12 health. So a 3 versus 3 with a HP advantage definitely in 9's favour. And as Redzy cannot find the kill onto the player lurking up Banana, Myth should be able to come out on top here. The flash goes over, doesn't affect Redzy, but his position is known. And Myth should be able to get the pre-fire in as he does exactly that. Complex finds himself 1 onto Xfloud. Brings it into a 2-on-2. 9 haven't got a whole lot of time to work with here. They might even go for the save call. That's exactly what they're doing. That's so unfortunate. That was 9's round for the taking, and well, had Izzy been able to finish off those 2 players, that would have been absolutely huge. But instead, just doing the damage, and it isn't quite enough. Helvete put themselves onto 6, and an opportunity for them now to close this out as an 8-7 half, which would be very, very good for them. 9 just about got the money to drop some weapons, buy into this one. Cider and Xfloud, obviously, the ones without a whole lot of money to work with. Helvete, off the back of that round win, will be able to buy up the AKs. No AWP, although they could have bought one. Just at the moment, no one seems to want to pull it out. Xfloud should hear these sound cues. They're not being too discreet about it. And as Pepsaw swings the corner with a smoke in his hand, he is going to get punished for it. Redzi is able to trade it, but it's a 4-on-4 now as they're charging up short. Izzy doesn't connect the shot on the player jumping over, and it lands all onto Myth to try and find these kills. He gets himself one. He's done his job, and if they continue to play the trading game, they might be able to come out on top here. Quintner does a lot of damage onto Complex early on. That will make things a little bit easier. Helvete now, they've got a nice triangle as Complex finds a headshot onto Quintner. Cider is able to trade it out, so it brings it into a 3-on-3. Smoke grenades deployed to isolate these fights, but Izzy can't connect the shot onto sight, needs to win this fight, and he's not able to do so. Redzi comes out on top, and it leaves Cider in a 2-on-1 as he tries to drop down and find the kill onto Pit. Redzi picks him out of the sky, and Helvete put themselves onto 7. A very, very close half, as we've seen throughout the entirety of it. Ends up 8-7 at half-time. 9, of course, the ones that are ahead. But wow. This has been a very, very close match so far. I was certainly expecting it to be close, but maybe not this close. Helvete, if they can win this pistol round, it would work absolute wonders for them. They might even be able to pull ahead. Right now, though, 9 changing the pace a little bit. It's looking like they're going for an A-take early on as they jump into brackets. They're being absolutely mowed down. Pepsaw and Redzi cleaning things up. Clinical headshots. They're not missing a single bullet. And it leaves Cider in a 1v4. Finds one onto Complex. Brings it into a 1-on-3. The bomb is down in enemy territory, though. And he has to retrieve it with only a Glock to work with. No Kevlar as well, as of course he was the utility player. Only thing he's really got to work with is massive amounts of time. A minute left on the clock. He has spotted the player in the apartments, but he's waiting for the head to show. And, well, that's going to be costly because Pepsaw does actually swing out and spot him. They know exactly where he's coming from now. Going to make this execute, or this bomb retake, a whole lot harder. They've got perfect crossfire on it, and the nade is timed absolutely perfectly. Redzi, the one to close it out. He gets himself a 3k in the pistol round, and what a time to step up and do so. Helvete level things out 8-8 right now. They've got plenty of money in the bank as well. Redzi so much so that he's actually going to buy himself an M4. Smoke and a flashbang to work with as well. The rest of his teammates buy up the MP9s for Masson Complex. 9 right now going for the full eco. They didn't get the bomb plant, so they're all just sitting around the 2k mark. They've got a smoke and a flash, and they want to just get this bomb down. Increase their cash further. Fantastic Molotov from Keve. They're going to slow that one down even further. It means they have to use the smoke early on to extinguish the Molotov, and as they charge in, it's not going to work out for them at all. Sapek, only good for 1, but he does a whole lot of damage. That means that Keve is actually falling right back. If they still have this smoke grenade, they could smoke CT, but they don't. They don't have the flash anymore either, as they have just expended it, but it works out perfectly. Keve does find himself 1, but it does allow the bomb to cross, and as he's punching in the numbers, Izzy's actually able to get the bomb down. This is perfect for 9. Helvete do clean things up. They only lose 1 player, but, well, in a round like that, where they've all got Glocks, 9 should not be able to get the bomb plant there, but they've used their utility perfectly. Smoke the Molotov, charge right in, use the flash to get across and flash the CT player, who otherwise would have just mowed them all down. And get yourself some bonus money to work with in round number 18. Of course, it allows your opponents to pull ahead. But now, 9 have got so much money to work with. AKs all round, utility all round, and even some cash to spare as Helvete going for the bonus round, and they're going straight down for a mid-push. If 9 don't expect this, this could be dire, and as Redzi swings out, he is able to find himself 1, but Xfloud, his reactions are very, very snappy. Turns around, trades it out instantly. So it brings it into a 4-on-4, but the issue is, well, that early aggression from Helvete means that they know that 9 are all grouped up over towards Banana. However, with no second mid control, and obviously that player falling early on as well, so no real mid control. They're not going to over-invest any players over towards B. They know that 9 have had plenty of time to, well, regroup. try and work something out elsewhere. Ironically for them though, 9 are actually going to regroup and head back over towards B. It's where they were spotted much earlier on in the round. And it's Sapek and Complex to hold this one up. The MP9 on Sapek up close. He might be able to spot the head of Quaitner as this smoke starts to dissipate. But, well, he's got to be wary of not giving away his own position. It's a pretty common angle, especially on a round like this where they know they've got the MP9s. 9 for now, though, running down the clock, and that could be dangerous. 25 seconds now left. As they throw in their utility, the CT smoke comes in, but as the Molotov goes down, it's going to delay time even further. Quaitner able to find one onto Complex, but Sapek doing huge work with the MP9, able to find himself 2, finally traded by xCloud. So it brings it into a 2-on-2, but Quaitner's on 4 HP. The bomb does go down, but Helvete are already here for the retake. They've got no time to breathe. And as Quaitner falls, it leaves xCloud last alive in a 2-on-1. Of course, they know he's on the bomb site, and now they know it for sure as he swings out, able to find one, but Pepsaw swings from Banana, trades out the frag, and Helvete put themselves 2 ahead for the first time this game. They're now sitting 10-8. This is looking dire for 9. They've got enough money in the bank that they could buy into this one, and I think they will choose to do so. Haven't really got the money for an AWP, though, unless xCloud decides to glass cannon. They've called the timeout. I mean, you've just got to question what they're discussing right now. There's only been a few rounds played of their T side, but so far, not a single one worked out for them. Except, of course, that second round. Their only real option was to get onto the bomb site, get the bomb plant, and they were able to pull that one off. So, it's not all doom and gloom. But, of course, they need to start putting some rounds on the board. Otherwise, they are going to let this one slip. And, of course, in a single elimination bracket like this, in a best of 1, no more chances. You lose this map, that's it. The difference is with these qualifiers, of course, is that last time we had 1 qualifier and the top 8 teams went through. So, in this scenario, they would actually still be out. They would have to get to the semi-finals to get through. Or no, actually... In fact, no, that would have been the round of 16s. They would be through at this point. However, with these qualifiers, it's going to be done a whole lot differently. We've got 4 qualifiers. From each qualifier, the top 2 teams will go through. So, no one through yet. You have to get right to the finals to qualify for Fight Night Season 2, which is going to be absolutely epic. It is going to be later on in the month. Let me just confirm the dates for you. I do know them off the top of my head, but I don't want to say them wrong. So, we're just going to have a look instead. Yeah, okay, I was right. The 20th to the 27th of August. It's going to feature a $10,000 prize pool. More than 3 times more than Season 1. So, it's going to be big. It's going to be awesome. Loads of giveaways. It's going to be fantastic. So, make sure that you are following us on our socials and keep up to date for that. Because there's going to be way more action and, well, the best teams of the qualifiers playing against each other. Right now, though, we're still seeing some pretty high caliber CS, even in the quarterfinals of our first qualifier. So, if that's any indicator for what's to come, then it's going to be awesome. 9, though, early on, going for the banana control. Flash comes over. Sapek able to find himself 1, but... well, peaks a little bit too late off of it. The flash does wear off. Quaitner is able to trade it, but Keve finds the frag back. Gives Helvete the man advantage, but Izzy's been able to sneak right up with the cover of the smoke. And actually, with the extra smokes going up as well, 9 have taken the B control. The issue is right now is that the bomb's been left behind. Myth's nowhere to be seen. He has to go for a huge rotation. And in that time, the smokes have dissipated, and Helvete have rotated all the players over. The only thing that 9 can really hope for right now is if they don't give away their position, Helvete might start to second-guess what they're doing. But as xCloud's been spotted, Well, actually, Helvete have done exactly that. They've rotated 2 players back over towards A, but now with 30 seconds on the clock, 9 are going to have to speed things up. The CT players should rotate back over, but it's not like they're needed. Complex finds himself 2. Keve closes it out as well with his second of the round, and Helvete completely shut down the 9 buy round. Surely an eco will come in from them here. We might see a couple of deagles be pulled out or something. That's exactly what will happen. They are going to go for the pistols, buy down to the 2k mark. They don't need a whole lot more than that. And by the fact that Izzy hasn't, for me at least, is an indicator that he will pull out an AWP next round. Complex now for the Helvete side, the one to pull out the big green scoped rifle. The boost coming in though. Sapek finds himself 2 as they line up. Pointner is able to trade it, and despite the fact that that was such a fast trade, Sapek is still able to run away with 2 frags. So Helvete, the man advantage in their side of the ballpark. Minute 10 on the clock as 9 start to regroup. They want to head over towards A. They haven't had a whole lot of luck over towards B in the last few rounds. It's not like they've just been completely shut down on Banana early on. But it seems that they lose a player or 2 on Banana, then they trade it out, then they get up to the site, and then they've kind of got the control, but they haven't got the utility or the aim to actually hold on to it. And Helvete just seem to pick them apart on the B-bomb site. So, really for the first time since pistol round, they're going to try their luck over towards A. Izzy now with this deagle. Creeping up the apartments. Pepzor though and Redzi both holding on to it, but Izzy actually comes out on top. A fantastic 1 dig onto Pepzor. Brings it back into a 3-on-3. Redzi, the only player on the site to hold it up. He's spraying down. He finds himself. Izzy does a lot of damage onto Quinter as well. Spins around and finds Cider. How on earth has he been allowed to find that frag? Unfortunately for him, can't find the 3rd, or that would have been absolutely massive. Gives 9 a lifeline to work with. It's Quinter last alive. 33 HP with an AK, and he knows... Well, he now knows where both players are. He's done a fair amount of damage, but he needs to find himself a kill to bring it into a 1-on-1 before he can fall back and hide. He's unable to do so. He's going to have to just take his chances, hope he can swing out and get some kind of transfer. They should know exactly where he is in Complex. Well, dances around the pillar, connects the AWP shot, and Helvete put themselves onto 12-9 right now. This is looking pretty dangerous for them. It was a very, very close round considering they were just down to the pistols. And really, had Redzi not made a huge, huge play on the site, it could have gone very differently. I still cannot believe that he heard the sound cue, and knowing that there's a player in front of him, he spun around and landed the headshot onto Cider, who was the flank player who would have taken him down, and then they would have had the man advantage to work with going onto the bomb site. But early on, Redzi, trying to get aggressive, does a lot of damage onto Izzy, but Quinter's there to save his teammate's life. Pepzor getting aggressive in the apartments might not work out for him though, as it's been smoked off. He has to fall off of it. No opportunity for them to contest the man advantage for now, but Sapek finds himself 3. Complex finds 1 as well. A huge aggressive play from Sapek that 9 weren't expecting at all. That leaves Xfloud last alive, but not for much longer, as Pepzor takes him down, and Helvete now put themselves 3 away from the magic number 16 and give themselves a 5-round lead. 9 are at a point now. Of course, they've not won a single round this half. They've lost 7 in a row. Another timeout is going to come in for them, but with such a loss bonus built up. In fact, the max loss bonus that you get after losing 5 in a row means they've got $3,400 at the end of every single round, and they will be able to buy into this one, and I'm sure they will do so. Quinter really the only one with the money to buy an AWP if he chooses to. Won't have a lot of utility to work with. Might drop it over towards Izzy, but for now it's not looking like that's going to be the case. They've got another minute 20 to talk about it. And Helvete, really just a couple of key players pulling away right now. Redzi going absolutely ham, making huge plays for his side, and well, single-handedly winning a couple of these past rounds. Complex playing absolutely nuts with that AWP. Finds himself above the 20 frag line as well. And Sapek, well, we saw it in the last round, a massive 3K from him to turn the tables when his teammates had the disadvantage. The initiative play to get aggressive, get behind them and go huge. Puts him up there as well with the 3 greats on the Helvete side. Pepzor and Keve doing a lot of work as well, but it is really those 3 players making this second half as strong as it is for them. And 9, this is kind of do or die time for them. They need to start putting some rounds back on the board. If they lose this one, Helvete put themselves onto 14. 9, well, they really won't have a lot of money to work with either. But all of the players right now, except Koitner, are right down to 0. So they won't have the money to buy into the next. They'll allow their their opponents to get onto match point. And it becomes very, very dangerous. No AWP investment from anyone on the 9 side as well, so they're all just going for the AKs and utility. It's round number 22, kicks off. Complex going for the AWP pick. Picks the ramp a little bit too late, though, and Izzy, oh my goodness. A clinical headshot onto Complex. That's going to get the AWP down. They can retrieve it if they want it, but for now they're not going to do so. They're going to continue to charge through onto the A site. There will be a player with an M4 in the library position, and Redzi goes huge again. Finds himself 1, does a huge amount of damage, and whilst Helvete are locked out right now due to these smoke grenades, Pepzor does find himself 1. The last line of defense on the A site. Trades going back and forth as we find ourselves in a 2-on-2, but 9 in the more favourable position right now as they have got the bomb down. The Molotov gonna force out Izzy a little. Doesn't quite spread to him though, so doesn't cause him too many problems. Just means that he can't sit by the close box. He can reposition now if he wants to. But right now they've got a fantastic crossfire and it's able to swing out, find himself 1 as Redzi's distracted trying to trade it. Izzy can swing out and find the frag, and 9 play that 2 versus 2 situation absolutely perfectly. Put themselves on 9, now 4 away from levelling things out. Helvete, of course, still the favourites to take this one, just due to their lead. But 9, they've done what was needed. They just need to maintain the momentum. Helvete, they've spent all their money to buy into this round. And with no loss bonus, it means that if 9 can take this one, not only do they put themselves onto double digits, but they put their opponents onto an eco. And they would be able to take it 13-11, which is a much closer and much more doable scoreline than 13-8. Just got to be seeing more of the 9 side that we saw in the first half, but the grenade damage from Helvete early on put Cider down to low HP. Nice Molotov though, going to force out Sapek. Means that Helvete will be playing a very defensive B hold very early on, and in fact, well, they're going to do a little switcheroo. They swap an A player with a B player. Actually only going to be leaving Complex on B with the AWP as well as Sapek starts to rotate over. It's a very, very good read from Helvete as 9 are actually looking like they are going to end up on A. 50 seconds on the clock. The issue is for them right now is Koitner is still holding Banana for the push, but Sapek, a fantastic flash from Pepzor. Sapek swings out, finds himself 1, gives them the man advantage. If 9 start to clock that there are 4 players on this A site, it could turn the tables a little, but with that man advantage, Sapek's actually going to rotate back over towards B. Increases 9's chances of taking this round, but fantastic positioning from Helvete means it's going to be difficult as there's smokes all around, the flashes rain over. Redzi somehow finds himself 1 while flashed, and Pepzor finds 1 too. Xcloud able to trade out the frag onto Redzi, but Keve's in a fantastic position to swing out and shut it down. He didn't make his position known at all that round, which meant that he could swing out and capitalise right at the end. It puts Helvete 1 away from match point. As 9. This is looking really, really dangerous for them. They haven't got the money to really buy into this one. They've bought a couple of pistols, some Kevlar, but as they stick around the 2k mark, Izzy saves some money again, presumably to pull out an AWP next round. They'll have to allow their opponents to get onto match point though and play for the overtime, which is really something you don't want to be doing as a side. It is the right play for now though. That Molotov going to slow things down further, and actually so much damage dealt early to 9 just from utility. Primarily over towards Banana. As the Molotov starts to fade though, 9, they are charging right up. Cider, what on earth was that? He's killed his teammate. I have no idea what just happened there. It's unfortunate we missed it, but as they charge right up long, Complex able to find himself one, pulls out the USP and does the work with that as well and finds himself one more. Of course, these players don't have helmets and he can play it like it's a pistol round. Cider finds himself one and another with the Deagle. 2 fantastic headshots. But in a 1 versus 5 situation, there's really not a whole lot he can do. Helvete put themselves onto match point and 9. We've got to be seeing some perfect counter-strike from them. They've got to pull back 6 in a row to make this one work. Izzy has pulled out the AWP. The rest of his teammates all on the AKs. Full utility all round as well as Complex goes for the early pick. Unable to find it as he gets flashed. He's forced to fall right back as well. And 9, they're trying to play a little bit more aggressive. Take control early on. The issue is that again there's no one watching the banana push and Helvete could capitalise on it if they choose to. Complex on the corner, threads the needle, misses the shot narrowly as Pepsaw, last alive on the site, needs to try and hold this one up. He finds himself one, a lot of damage onto the second. It was a fantastic shot onto Cider, but he was unable to find himself any more, and it means that 9 have got the A site, they've got the man advantage, they've got the post plants and the crossfires set up as well. They should be able to take this one. Helvete, they've got some flashbangs to work with on this retake. A Molotov and a grenade as well. That Molotov will flash out the pit player. Does allow Keve, despite the fact that he was flashed, to come out on top. Xcloud fades one out onto Redzy though, but as Keve finds himself one more, brings it into a 2-on-2. Both 9 players low HP as well. This is very doable for Helvete. Keve finds himself one more, knows the players in the corner, swings up with the USP. Quaitner, that was so dangerous. 1 bullet. 1 bullet. If that had connected, Helvete would be taking this best of 1, but 9 narrowly make it work. Very, very dangerous stuff as they put themselves onto double digits. Now 5 in a row needed. And as Helvete, they've got no real money in the bank, but they have invested into this round. They've got a scout, 2 M4s and 2 Deagles to work with. If they can pull this one off, it would be absolutely huge. But if they don't, they're down to a full eco. They could allow 9 to get onto 12. Early on, Redzy going for a 1D. Can't connect it though. And actually 9, after losing so many players last round, Myth and Xcloud are forced down to the Galils, which isn't too great. As Complex finds himself an early connection with that scout. Means that Cider now is a 1 hit to the Deagles, which becomes very, very dangerous. A boost over the smoke means that Pepsaw's got a lot of visibility, and they might not expect it, but as the smoke starts to fade, a second one goes up, and it's going to go a lot closer as well, so Pepsaw can't see over it with the boost. Keve, though, using a big bit of initiative to push through this smoke, wants to try and make something work as he comes up behind, finds himself one. Pepsaw completely shuts it down as Complex finds one more, and it leaves Cider in a 1 versus 3 to keep his team in this one. It would be a massive clutch if he can pull it off, but with 47 HP and 30 seconds on the clock, it's going to be near impossible as Redzy swings out from close, deals even more damage, puts Cider onto 20. There's surely no way he clutches this round. The time's running down as he's desperate to find himself a frag. He knows this is all over. GGs are probably already in the chat, but Redzy can't connect his shot. Cider still with somewhat of a lifeline, but still 3 players to find. He swings out. Complex is able to find himself the headshot, and Helvete, against all odds, take the game 16-10. 9. One of the... Well, obviously this bracket wasn't seeded, but I'd say one of the best teams in this qualifier have been eliminated in the quarterfinals so early on. That's so unfortunate. It was a very, very close game, but right at the end, Helvete just pulled away. They had a fantastic CT half, and I'm so excited to see what they can do in the later rounds of this bracket. And actually, if they can make it to the finals and qualify for Fight Night Season 2, that was a fantastic match. And very, very shortly, we'll be bringing you a semi-finals match. We're yet to decide which side of the bracket we want to go with. We'll probably switch over to the other side to change things up a little bit. But we're going to go for a short break for now, and we will be back with you very, very shortly with our semi-final game. And actually, the winner of that will be one of your 2 teams going on to CSGO Fight Night Season 2. So make sure you stay tuned for that one, because that will be an exciting game. For now, though, don't go anywhere.
that works as well as any kind of active substance. It's a new paradigm. It's a new understanding to get into a place where you can use your thoughts to maximum effect.
Welcome back, everybody. I did say we would be quick, and, well, we absolutely were. Coming up next, we have got a very, very big game for you. I've already forgotten who's playing. I'm absolutely terrible. We have got 100 Ping Gods versus the Dice. So, two very, very strong teams. Of course, 100 Ping Gods, one of the teams that qualified for Fight Night Season 1. The Kazakhstani side, who were absolutely fantastic. They really, really surprised us. A team of players that we really hadn't seen before, and we really didn't know what to expect. And they pulled it out the back, went all the way in the qualifiers, and Well, in fact, at the start of the last CSGO fight night, they turned up, they knocked out Big Academy of all people, and then had to drop out due to unforeseen circumstances. But they're back for Season 2, and I'm very, very excited to see what they can bring to the table. We're going to be jumping straight into the game because, well, it's just about to start, and we don't want to be missing any of the action. So without further ado, I think we will be jumping straight into the pistol round. The knife round's finished. I can only assume that 100 Ping Gods won as they're starting off over on the CT side. So we're over on Dust 2, a map that you don't see all too often nowadays. Doesn't tend to get picked, but with these CIS teams, well, I think stereotypically they still love a good old Dust 2. As there's no surprise there, as the flash comes in early on, the DICE have taken a lot of control. They've got the B tunnels, they've taken the long tunnels, as they've kept XPG over there to make sure that no one pushes right through, gets up behind them. So they're sitting lower mid, they've got good potential here to go for some kind of split, but which site they choose to split is still unknown. Of course, the bomb's still in the lower tunnels. Not a single firefight taken, not a single point of health damaged. 55 seconds on the clock now. The DICE need to start making a move, and it's looking like that move's going to be over towards B. Sorry though, jiggle peeking with this smoke, and if he deploys it, it's going to make this push a whole lot harder. But as he jiggle peeks, spots the player. Oh, spots him again. No way does he give for another peek here. Spots him again. What on earth is he doing? Sorrow is playing a dangerous game. And there we go, smoke's deployed, but he's cut it a little bit fine. He pulls out the USP, somehow still connects the headshot. He swings out, does a lot of damage onto the second, finds himself one more. Sorrow, you absolute monster, holds up the B site like a king. And now the DICE, well, they've got onto the bomb site, but they've taken 3 casualties and Nonix down to 16 HP. It's going to be a real difficult one for them to hold up as Pollux is right out in the open, is able to find himself one onto Duke Fisher though. As the nade comes in, they're desperate to find this last one. Excavator, very, very close as he finds himself one onto Nonic. Now a 1 versus 1. Pollock is down to 4 HP. And this is going to be such a difficult clutch for him to pull off, and he's not able to do so. Excavator comes out on top, and 100 Ping Gods narrowly take the pistol round. Sorrow, really the key player in my mind there, to hold on, not only finding himself 2 kills, but actually to stay alive long enough for the rotations to come in, the flank to come in from behind, and it means that in that situation, the DICE can't get the post plants that they want, and actually Pollux was right out in the open and had to take a very, very difficult engagement early on, as the retake was just so fast. So, going into round number 2, 2 M4s for the 100 Ping Gods side. Duke Fisher up close mid with the FAMAS, opens things up with 1, make that 2, does a lot of damage onto the 3rd, and he's still alive to wreak havoc, but he doesn't want to do so. Falls right back, calls the support from his teammate, a Smiley swings out and finds 1. Canna able to trade it, but a 2-man disadvantage, and, well, how on earth do I say that? Dejoko was low HP, now has been taken down. Canna all alone in a 1 versus 4. Winter's the one to close it out, and well, plenty of frags from the SMGs that round means that they're sitting on a decent amount of cash right now. Smiley, obviously the only casualty in the last as well, meaning they don't have to reinvest too much. Smiley's actually going to pull himself out an M4 as well. Nice $600 bonus from him last round from that MP9 kill. They've got plenty of money. They're against just a Deagle buy. And a good opportunity to rack up some more if they don't take too many casualties as Duke Fisher opens things up again with a double kill. Does get traded, but as XPG gets taken down as well. Huge aggression from the 100 Ping God side. Winter push right up long, finds 1 onto Pollux. Canna last alive, and Winter makes easy work of him. Another 2 kills with that MP9 means he is now comfortably sitting on $8,000. Not going to risk the double bonus round. In fact, no, he is. He's an absolute mad lad. He's dropped an AWP over to Smiley. The rest of his teammates all on the M4s, and he is going to stick with that MP9. They are, of course, now faced up against a full buy on the DICE side. No AWP for them to work with, but 5 AKs and full utility. Very, very dangerous in the hands of some of these players. Sorry. To get up top mid, but he doesn't quite turn his teammates flash properly, and he doesn't want to swing a corner while blinded himself. However, that does give them a lot of early control and a lot of early information. They know that no one's close mid, and that means that, well, they've got some leg room on A. It means that they can boost some players up, they can dance around, they don't have to worry about short anytime in the near future. They might have to now, though, as XPG's headed over towards there. The DICE right now seem to be really, really good at just running down the clock. Which, I mean, it works sometimes, but for now not working for them at all. Winter, a fantastic flash, allows him to swing out, finds himself one. A lot of damage onto the second, does get traded. There were 3 versus 3 now, but Sorrow's able to come out on top. The bomb now down on long. And as the DICE, well, they've walked up, they've got themselves onto the A site, but they can't do a whole lot with it without the bomb to put down. Dijoko, why can't I say that? Wow, it's not even a difficult name to say. It just confuses me when I see it. Does find himself 2 huge frags nonetheless, though. Leaves his team in a 2 versus 1. A good opportunity for them to close out this round and put one on the board. But with 15 seconds left on the clock, Sorrow has played this absolutely perfectly. He knows they've fallen right back to retrieve it. He knows they've got no time to work with. They need to just get across to the site. And he's now put himself in a fantastic position to deny the bomb plant. Unfortunately for him, though, he has allowed them to cross and he needs to find his frag. The bomb's now gone down. They've got plenty of time to work with. And Dijoko swings out and finds the frag. The DICE now put their first round on the board. And whilst I thought Sorrow played that really, really well initially, he really needed to just prevent that cross. If he kills the bomb there, prevents the cross, that's their round. The DICE haven't got the time to retrieve the bomb and get it down on the site. But instead, well, he puts himself in Gandalf and it doesn't work out for him at all as he has to take 2 aim duels. He can't win either of them, so the DICE put their round on the board. Means they can invest into this one as well. 4 AKs, Norp on XPG. Canna charging right down into CT though. Takes a lot of damage early on, but somehow still alive with just 1 HP to spare. He does get taken down, but as Nonic trades it out, Nonic finds himself one more as well. Make that 3 as he gets another kill onto Winter. XPG finds one as well, and it leaves Duke Fisherer last alive. 6 HP to work with. It was a 1v4. He's brought it into a 1 versus 3. And he should be able to hear the sound cues now. Might be able to take down one. And the low HP player is nowhere to be seen now as XPG's actually got himself onto the A site. Should have spotted that player heading over towards long. But Pollux has done the same and he swings right back out. Lands himself a nice kill. And that is going to be the round for the DICE. They were looking, well, not too great at the start of this game. They went 3 down, and every single round was very, very convincing from 100 ping gods. But since their buy round, they've been able to string some together, and they're actually looking a lot stronger. So, the French side. Looking like they might be able to keep this game interesting. Of course, they've got a historically strong roster. Some of these players playing level back in the day. And well, still playing at a top level now. Let's not put them down at all. We had to round number 6 though. 100 pink gods, they are down to an eco, and Kana seems to have an idea that they've pushed up close long. Does see one player jump back. He might not expect Sorrow to still be in this corner. Sorrow might be able to find himself a free kill, but as his teammates are charging right on to the A site, well, Kana's just going to fall right back. He's wary of someone being close as well, so he keeps checking it. But, ooh! Sorrow, you should be connecting those, my friend. And as he can't do so, the DICE, well, they keep 5 players alive. Excavator last alive. In a 1 versus 5, only a Deagle to work with. There's no real point in him saving. But there's absolutely no chance he clutches out this round. The best he can really hope for is an AK. Best case scenario, he gets the AWP, but surely that doesn't happen. However, XPG currently is unguarded right now, so it is possible. A very nice headshot from Excavator. Takes down DeJocko, but that is the only MAC-10 on the DICE side, so he's not really retrieved anything too sizable, and he's not going to go and save it either. He is going to continue to push, try and take some weapons out of his opponent's hands, who don't have a huge amount of money to work with. He'll try and grab himself an AK as well. For now, though, no one pushing him, and he is just going to make things work with this MAC-10. He brings it into the next round. He might even drop it over to Winter, who seems to like those SMGs. Instead, actually drops an M4 over to Duke Fisherer. Keeps the MAC-10 for himself. Somewhat of a full investment from the 100 ping God's side. Of course, they have bought up, but two players with no utility whatsoever. Excavator on a MAC-10. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to work here. But he's up close with this MAC-10. The smoke's deployed. The DICE aren't going to continue to push through it, and he's not going to try and spam either. He's back down low. It's got some nice early information, but they're not going to do anything off of it. No rotations or anything like that. Just the info. Smiley, a nice position on the mid doors to hold it up. If they choose to swing, it's a very, very nice off angle, and he should be able to get himself at least one, but for now the DICE aren't committing themselves to it. It's looking like they are heading over towards short. Smoke goes over, flash goes over as well. They might try and actually contest this control. Smiley does come out on top though. He's able to fall right back through the smoke as well, so it gives them the man advantage to work with. The DICE now 45 seconds on the clock. They need to make a play, and it's looking like that play is going to be over towards A. Bombs heading around there too, but so many Molotovs on the site. It's delaying their push further. They have so many angles to clear, but they will be able to get the bomb down. XPG is the one to punch in the numbers. And it's now a 4 versus 5 retake. 100 ping Gods, all 5 players still alive. And they were all around the A site, ready to retake it. Smiley spots ahead, but he doesn't shoot. They're in a fantastic position for this retake, but Kana coming up from behind is in a very dangerous position as XPG finds one. That levels things out. Kana's coming up from behind. XPG, though, actually finds himself both kills on long. Kana's not needed, but now he is as he finds one onto Excavator. No Nick cleans things up. Smiley only able to find himself one more. And despite the fact that 100 ping Gods were in a fantastic position to pull off that retake, XPG went absolutely huge with that AWP. They were unable to take him out, and the DICE managed to pull it off. They now pull ahead. Oof! Very nice connection through the door as well. Excavator now down to 29 HP. Doesn't matter too much though. They're just down to the deals. It should be a clean round for the DICE. They just want to keep as many players alive as they can. It's kind of find Smiley. There's a gap in the smoke, but not for much longer as the second one goes up. Winter now up close with this P250. Actually lands a dink onto DeJocko. But Sorrow with this Deagle, a good position to connect something. It's Duke Fisherer to find it though. DeJocko, the man with the bomb, was also the one with the low HP. So only took a lucky connection through the smoke to take him down. Now it's a 4 versus 4. Minute 10 on the clock. There should still be the dices for the taking, but the Deagles are closing in, and Duke Fisher has landed himself another one, Deagle. Sorrow swings out and finds one more. All of a sudden they're in a 4 versus 2. None of the AKs are retrievable though so far. 100 ping Gods, and as Kana comes in, cleans things up with a 3k. The tables have turned. 100 ping Gods, they were looking so dangerous, but they have been completely mowed down, and XPG, no respect whatsoever, switches to his USP and plays it as if it's pistol round. The dice now 5-3 as we go into round number 9. 100 ping Gods will be able to invest into this one. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an AWP balled out. It is going to be on Smiley. Mid-smoked though, and he's not going to go for the pick. Instead chooses to use the scope rifle elsewhere. It's looking like the die are setting for a split. It's setting with the X-ray on when Excavator's holding this angle, and there's 3 players on the other side of that smoke. Timing just needs to work out, and Sorrow, well, it's worked out for him, of course, as he finds himself one onto No Nick, but Kana opens things up, a very nice headshot. Duke Fisher turns around and lands a double spray down. Gives them that an advantage that they need. PG should be able to connect this shot. No, it's not going to happen. Sorrow lands a fantastic headshot. It leaves DeJocko last 5 versus 3. The bomb does go down, and he's going to play the mind games around the... a very, very dangerous player, and here's the set. He can dance around it, spots himself one, but can't connect it. A huge whiff. And Winter capitalizes on it. 100 ping gods, they take their buy round. They're still on the back foot, of course. And the Dice have got enough money to buy into the next. In fact, XPG sitting on 11k right now. Make that 13 as their lost bonus comes in. But 100 ping gods. One away from leveling things up. They've now got the money in the bank to do so as well. So far, this game's shaping up to be very similar to the last one we saw. Rounds traded back and forth at the start, but Winter, that's played absolutely fantastically, opens things up onto Pollux. In return, though, they've had to give up the short control by having 3 bomb. And it means that they can charge right in. XPG, good for 1, but as it gets traded, puts them in a difficult position. A man disadvantage. 2 players very, very low HP as well. They've got the bomb down nonetheless. They've got the time to get the post plants as well. And, well, Nonick's in a fantastic position to find. Timing just needs to work out for him, and he needs to hope that no one's watching it. To hope that his teammates can survive long enough that he can come in from behind. And he takes out Winter. That's Sorrow distracted as well. He turns around. Kana on site is able to take him down. The tables have turned. The man advantage now in the favor of the Dice. The bomb's taken away. The retake has to be sped up as Excavator, desperate to find this frag, runs along. And Nonick has played it absolutely perfectly, baiting out the shots, and then swings out and finds a double kill. That was played fantastically from the Dice. Early on, of course, it could have gone better for them. But with what they were left to work with, they pulled it off. They did so well. Really, really nice stuff from them early on as they continue this 2-round lead. And of course, we go into round number 11. 100 ping gods, they've got the money to force into it, but it's not what you want right now. 3 from us is limited utility on 4 players. In fact, no utility on Europa as well, which isn't too much of a deficit, but as a CT side, you really want all you can get. As Duke Fisher gets tagged up early on, he's down to 9 HP. Going to make things even harder. Sorry, playing up close to short. If his teammate can flash him, he might be able to make something work here, but the Molotov's going to force him to swing. The flash comes in, but it doesn't matter. Nonick takes him down despite being flashed. Smiley now up close with his sword, needs to try and trade it, and he's holding the wrong hand, and Nonick's on the left. And he does capitalise. Winter now. Well, he was in a very difficult position. He had to find himself that frag, and he is able to trade it out. But Nonick's done his job for the round. The rotation's coming in. No players left on the B site to hold it up if the Dice do choose to change their mind. For now, though, it doesn't matter. Djoko's taking down Duke Fisher with that nade. A 4 versus 2 for them to work with. As 3 players stacked up over towards short. And Kana getting very, very close on long. Winter's been dinked on the site. He's able to swing out and find himself 1, spraying away at the second. He does actually find himself 1 more kill onto Pollux. It brings it back into a 2-on-2. They're forced to fall off the site though, and Winter has to try and hold it up. Excavator somehow lands a headshot onto Kana. And XPG now last alive, not a lot of HP to work with, and Excavator able to come out on top. I have no idea how 100 ping gods have pulled that one off in the 4 versus 2 situation. But I think it has a whole lot to do with Winter going absolutely huge. He has played so well this game, and, well, so far, no signs of the brakes being put on. Continuing to play like a madman. The Dice now forced down to an eco. They are going to buy some Tech 9s. A Mac 10 on Nonick. All staying around that 2k mark, though it's going to be a difficult round for them to take against an opponent that has got a lot of firepower behind them. The tables have really turned. The armory on the 100 ping god side is a whole lot stronger. Flash goes over. Sorrow swings out. They might have spotted Nonick there, but they're not going to opt to continue to aggress. A counter flash secures that further. And Nonick really just being the utility man right now as the fakes come in over towards B. The CT's shutting this one down completely though. Excavator finds himself 3. Duke Fisher finds himself 1 more. And Nonick, last alive, needs to swing out and do something, and it doesn't work out for him at all. There's actually a really, really bad team flash there for the DICE that, well, I think they would have still got shut down, but made it a whole lot harder for them to trade out any of those frags. Of course, we go to round number 13. 6-6 right now, both teams on a bye round. Of course, the bye of 100 Ping Gods is a fair bit stronger than their opponents, though. But still rifles all round. Enough utility for the DICE to work with that they should be able to get themselves onto a bomb site at the very least. For now, though, spreading about, going for this standard default. By the looks of their current positions, they should end up over towards A. But with a minute 10 on the clock, there's plenty of time for them to change their mind. Smiley on the close angle, wants to try and find the shot, but he can't connect it as he gets flashed off the angle. Torrid finds one, he doesn't drop off though, he swings out for more, and in hindsight that wasn't the best idea as XPG's ready to trade it. Brings things back into a 4-on-4. Smiley still on the site though with this ult, throws that Molotov, he denies the catwalk push, Winter swings out and finds one, and Smiley's unable to trade it. Now the last man on the A site, the flash goes over. He can't connect the shots as they're getting closer and closer, and XPG, a fantastic headshot from him, gives them the man advantage, gives them the A site. Luckily they don't plant for short as Duke Fisher charges right up, but XPG's retrieved himself an AWP and connects the shot. Excavator, a fantastic grenade, takes him out of the equation, brings it into a 2 versus 1 in the DICE's favour. Excavator creeping up from CT though, so many angles to be wary of. A head could poke up from any position and there's no nicks in pit. He has to clear him out. He knows where he is now, but Pollux, he's played that absolutely perfectly. Crouch right round the back. Don't give away your position and then poke up when your teammate needs you. A very, very nice round from the DICE as they put themselves onto 7. Thus 2, historically ever so slightly T-sided. So really they should come out on top with an 8-7 half, and it's looking like they're on track to do so as 100 Ping Gods right now forced down to an eco. Only Smiley invested anything into this one with that scout. A couple of deagles as well, but shouldn't be enough for them to pull this one off. Sorrow and Smiley though find themselves 2 early kills, bring it on to the 3 versus 3, but none of the guns are retrievable, and that Molotov's going to force Smiley to fall right back. Doesn't want to contest the site just with a scout. No Kevlar as well, makes it even harder. Duke Fisher swings out, wants to find himself something, but Kana cleans him up. And Smiley, well, 3rd time's the charm, might be able to swing out and find something, spots the player, can't connect the shot, and now his position is known, and all eyes are going to be watching short. He wants to try and retrieve that AK, but the DICE want to make sure he doesn't. So, as soon as he swings out in the open, they should be able to take him down. He grabs himself the AK, but he is actually going to go for this one instead of going for the save. 5 bullets left in the clip, and he's not going to go for the reload. Instead, goes for the 1-taps. 3 players for him to find. He knows that there's one close. He knows that there's one long. Connects the headshot on the first, but to Jocko, well, their positioning was just perfect. 3 players all holding the same angle, all with eyes on the bomb, and all at different heights, so they can't get lined up. Fantastic post-plant hold from the DICE, puts them onto 8, so they've secured the half win, and if they can secure this last round, it would be absolutely massive. They could put themselves 9-6, with 5 timeouts for both sides to work with as well. It's no surprise that the DICE call one now to cook up something a little bit different to what they've been doing. They really want to take this one 9-6, and they know that their opponents will be on a bye. So, this extra 2 minutes should work wonders for them. Of course, we said it in the last game, but I'll say it again now because he is just so fantastic. Your observer for today is Randall, or in fact his handle is It's Randall. He will be doing all of our CSGO Fight Night qualifiers and the main event later in August, the 20th to the 27th. Pencil the date in your calendars because it is going to be a fantastic event. 3 times bigger than the last one. We'll see bigger teams, better teams. I mean, it's going to be really, really exciting. I'm super, super hyped for it. And yeah, make sure you do tune in to see it. Of course, this is our first qualifier, so today we will be finding out the first 2 teams that will be qualifying for the main event later in August. the winner of this game will be one of those two. So, will we be seeing 100 ping gods again, the Kazakhstani side that managed to qualify last time and actually managed to show some really strong performances early on in the tournament before they had to drop out? Or will we be seeing the French side of the dice? A team that we haven't seen before, but proving their worth so far as they're 8-6 up against 100 ping gods. And then, of course, on the other side of the bracket, what teams do we have on the other side of the bracket? Let's have a quick look whilst we've got a few seconds to work with. Come on, face it, don't fail me now. It's Unique versus Helvete, the Swedish side that we saw in the past game, versus Team Unique. Historically a very, very strong side, with players with major experience. We go into round number 15 though. Oh my goodness, Sorrow, he's come up in the back lines and found himself 3. That should really seal the deal for 100 ping gods. As it's now a 5 versus 2. XPG and NoNick, the last alive to try and clutch this one up. NoNick finds himself 1, but it's quickly traded. XPG's got a hell of a job on his hands, and him getting dinked isn't going to make this clutch a whole lot easier. Does go for the bomb plant, and he does spot one player across, but he needs to take the close fights first, and it's not going to happen at all. 100 ping gods do come out on top. A fantastic play from Sorrow means that there was really no chance of the dice coming back into that one unless there was some crazy huge play. So, again, we see an 8-7 half, 2 games in a row. It really shows the caliber of these teams later in the bracket. Really, really shows that actually we've got some very, very strong sides, and we have some very, very close games. So, round number 16, the pistol round. Whichever team comes out on top, it's not as important as if there was a really one-sided half, perhaps. But, of course, it gives them the opportunity to pull away. And Kana, a very nice headshot onto Excavator early on. The lone player that wanted to try and take some long control gets punished for it. No trade potential there either, and 2 players in a very good position to try and shut down this short push. XPG, though, gets taken down to Jocko as well. It seemed like simultaneously they were perfectly executed. Now the man advantage for 100 ping god. Sorrow is very low HP, and Kana, the last man on the A site, to try and hold this one up. The P2000 in hand, and actually NoNick tapping away. Can't connect the shot though. That's a huge whiff for him to make as Pollux gets taken down too. And all of a sudden, Kana, he's left alive in a 1 versus 4. Spots a player, lands a clinical headshot. That is a beautiful shot. Brings it into a 1-on-3. Sorrow's still low, not checking his left, but actually just about works out for him. He's wary of it now as the sound cue's made, but he's heard him fall right back, and he is actually just going to go straight into the site to take these aim duels. Should spot the leg of the player behind the box. Can connect the headshot, but Winter's there to trade it instantly. And 100 ping gods. Well, it's looking a little bit dangerous for them towards the closing movements of that pistol round, but they did still come out on top, and they played that final situation absolutely perfectly. Off of the back of that, the dice are going to force into this one. I think that, well, they had the early advantage in the pistol round, and they should have really been able to close it out, but we just saw some major whiffs, which, with a USP on pistol round, it's very easily done. When there's a close range fight and you're spamming away, the spam potential of the Glock is just so much stronger. The Molotov is going to miss, though, unfortunately. It's not going to be able to flush out the pit player, but Excavator comes out on top with that shockwave. Just in that man advantage. A lot of early damage being dealt, though, from the dice. And as Kana swings out, finds himself 1. NoNick connects a scout shot onto Winter, who was already tagged up by the grenade. Now, a 3 versus 3. Sorrow is down to 30. Head back over toward B. XPG is shortly going to realise that no one's mid and running onto the B site. Might be unable to do so, but connects one up following off of that. That brings 2 players down to low HP. No grenades for them to finish them off, but, well, they've found themselves an AK. A FAMAS as well. XPG's pulled out his USP, and they are going to go for this retake. A very, very difficult site to retake. Of course, the B site on Dust 2. But still certainly a doable one. Another smoke goes up, but there's a gap in it, which means that the dice can capitalise off of it. Fisher up close, though, able to find himself 1. Kana trades it back, brings things back into a 2-on-2. Smiley's in a fantastic position to capitalise. He finds himself 1 more. Kana trades it, brings it into a 1-on-1. Smiley now needs to connect the headshot. He's able to do exactly that. 100 ping gods pull away, narrowly winning the second round, put themselves 9-8 as they take the lead for the first time in a while this match. In fact, possibly even the first time since the third round. As the dice now forced onto a full eco. Just the grenades for them to work with as they stack them over towards long. No damage dealt though, as the 100 ping gods somewhat expecting not putting anyone into the long tunnels, and in the meantime taking the B site with absolute ease. Sorrow, Excavator and Winter find themselves 3 nice kills, and it leaves XPG last alive. Sorrow, of course, is down to 1 HP, and XPG desperate to try and find himself the frag. Actually just charging straight through the smoke. He's able to get it. Quickly traded, but well, that was a heroic play to say the least. 100 ping gods though, now 2 rounds ahead before the dice can buy back into this one. A very, very close game on our hands so far. And a matched buy round. Every player on the server right now, except with Force, an AWP on each side, full utility on both sides as well. This is really going to be the decider. Do 100 ping gods, pull off the buy round, string some more rounds together and pull away from their opponents, or do the dice take it and then have an opportunity to level things up, keep a close game on our hands and keep this one competitive. Still a 5 versus 5 with a minute 10 on the clock. 100 ping gods looking like they're opting to go over towards the A site. There are 3 CTs waiting there. And Kana is playing the goose position, which is something we haven't seen in a while. Pollux playing up close. Deals a fair bit of damage, gets tagged up himself, but still now with 35 seconds on the clock. No kills being dealt. 100 ping gods looking like they're heading back over towards B, but they need to speed things up. They haven't got a whole lot of time to work with, and XPG spots Duke Fisherer. That's the kill in the favour of the dice. The man advantage. Oh, timing just doesn't work out for him though. He drops down to the side and gets picked off out of the air by Winter. A clinical 1-dig to do so. No Nick finds 1, but Smiley trades it back, brings it into a 3-on-3. Excavator finds 1 more. 10 seconds on the clock. They can't deny the plant. 100 ping gods get it down. The man advantage now, and well, I don't think the dice are even going to go for this retake. They fall right back off of it. 100 ping gods. How on earth are they doing this? They lost the man advantage. And they ran down the clock so low. That should have been the dice's for the taking, but they've let it slip. Really, really unfortunate stuff from them. So, as we go into round number 20, 100 ping gods will be 3 rounds ahead. The bank built up from their side as well is substantial. I mean, this is massive from them. To bounce back off of the first half, which wasn't looking too great for them. The dice, especially in the second half of the first half. Certainly the ones in control. They've bounced back really well, and as Smiley opens things up early with a wallbang headshot, somewhat secures that further. The dice have brought down to 2k, so they've got a few weapons to work with, and they will have the money to buy into the next. But if they can't pull this one off, 100 ping gods put themselves 12-8. A 4-round lead, very similar to what we saw in the last game again. An 8-7 half, then we see one team pull away, and the other just narrowly trail behind. Smiley trying to find himself an angle with this AWP. The dice not contesting this control though. They're allowing them to take long. Flash comes in, he jumps across. Smiley can't connect it. Oh my goodness. A fantastic flick, though, allows him to find Kana. A 2-man advantage for them now. Pollux, the only man over on A. His teammates rotating over through short. He's going to be a man with an M4, but as 400 ping gods players stack up over towards long, A is going to be their destination, but with Sorrow coming in from the back lines, well, he's very, very dangerous. And in fact, with him taking the B site, they're going to fully rotate over. He's going to be able to find XPG, who's just lurking around in CT, wondering where the T's are. And off the back of that, well, they're just going to save. Pollux has found himself an AK. Jocko obviously saved the M4 from the last, and they can, yeah, they can just save these rifles, bring them into the next round. There's no point in going for this one. The B site is so difficult to retake. And of course, it's a 5 versus 2. So, 100 ping gods will be able to put another round on the board, giving them a 4-round advantage. 4 away as well from number 16. The Jocko, well, he's got a surprise in the bag as 3 players swing out. Smiley connects a nice orb shot. Pollux really needs to find this kill. Does a lot of damage onto Sorrow, but can't convert it. Does find the kill onto Winter, though. And he is able to bring the AK into the next round. Had he have died, it wouldn't have made a huge amount of difference because they had the money to buy up anyway. But to go and save and then both die without any kills is really, really unfortunate. So, yeah, they've done really well there to actually find the kill, take the AK into the next round. You've got one of your best aimers with 1-hit headshot potential. And now they can contest this game. If they let 100 ping gods take this one, they might as well be letting them have the game, because they'll be able to get onto 14. A lot of control game from them early on as Duke Fisher waterfalls right down through the smoke into CT. They've got so much space to work with, and as he turns the flash perfectly, Pollux can't find the kill. Sorrow finds himself 1. Oh my goodness. A huge array of kills going in the favour of 100 ping gods as they completely mow down the dice. They put themselves 13-8 right now. They are looking fantastic. Going into round number 22, the dice with the loss bonus that they have are going to buy somewhat into this one. Keep around the 2k mark and contest it when their opponents are on 14, but well, they're giving their opponents far too much legroom. If 100 ping gods take this round, they'll be 2 away from closing it out, and they will have a 6-round lead. So much money in the bank as well that they can just continue to contest the buy rounds of dice. Have to play perfect Counter-Strike if they want to pull this one off. And Excavator opens things up onto Kana. A very nice early headshot. XPG up close, wants to try and find something. Gets completely mowed down as the flash goes over. 100 ping gods really just ripping through the CT defences. Pollux, what on earth was that? Jumping up for the info, not expecting to just be completely shut down. Excavator finds himself 2 nice kills. Finishing things off with a headshot through the smoke. 100 ping gods. Well, they might be your next team qualifying for the CSGO Fight Night Season 2 main event. They have been fantastic this game so far, and if they can close it out, then they will be one of your qualifying teams. No Nick, though. Trying to deny that. Opens things up early on to Smiley, but as Winter finds himself 1 back onto Kana, it's looking like they are going to try and get onto this B site. They charge straight through the smoke. Oh my goodness. How on earth has the Jocko not found a kill there? Sorrow takes him out, but No Nick finds 1 back. So still a 3-on-3. Duke Fisher are trapped in the corner. Should be able to hear the sound cue of the player rotating. As the smoke dissipates, he swings out and capitalizes. XPG now gone. No Nick, though, still doing damage. He's played so well this round. Keeping his team in this one with the 3k. Pollux needs to find this kill on the player on door. Otherwise, it's really all over for them. Does a lot of damage onto him, but he can't convert it. Duke Fisher comes out on top with 2 massive headshots. And 100 ping gods are now on match point. The dice, they have really let this one slip. No Nick did everything in his power that round, but it just wasn't enough. Several players not stepping up to the plate when needed. And it's really costing them as we go into the final round. The dice have pulled out everything that they can, but that unfortunately is just a mere 3 FAMASs and 2 scouts. And they're against a monster of a buy from 100 ping gods. And the players are all riled up and ready to go. A lot of early damage done onto No-Nick, but as Sorrow gets tagged up too, down to 11. Pretty even as we go into a minute 20 on the clock. A lot of control for 100 ping gods though, and as Dejoko getting aggressive on B, could get punished if he overstays his welcome. The timing works out for him though. Sorrow starts to fall back. If he does choose to aggress here, he would be allowed to, but instead he second guesses it, falls back. Doesn't want to make a mistake and give away an advantage in this round. This is their last chance, and Kana opens things up. A nice kill onto Excavator. Sorrow is able to trade it out. So still a 4 versus 4. Pollux is in a fantastic position, and as Sorrow throws in a Molotov, he does get punished. XPG on the angle with the scout. Pollux surely doesn't get cleared here. Winter does actually clear it. He does a lot of damage, but he does get taken down. Back into a 3-on-3 now. XPG can't connect the first shot, gets tagged down really low, and he's going to be forced to fall right back to CT. They've given up A. And 100 ping gods aren't going to contest it. They're not going to try and peek CT and find the kill. There's 3 players there waiting for them. Instead, they're going to get right onto the site and try and close out this game. The DICE have not put a single CT round on the board, exactly the same as what we saw in the last game. So No-Nick finds himself an AK. He's such low HP though. This is so difficult. The run boost comes in. Winter finds himself the kill. Smiley finds one more. They're trying to close it out, and Smiley's able to do so. Dejoko's gone. And 100 ping gods will be your first team going into Fight Night Season 2. In the last 2 games, we've seen 2 monsters fall. 9, of course, falling to the Swedish side of Helvete. And the DICE falling to the Kazakhstani side of 100 ping gods. The team that qualified last time showed that they were really worthy of going the full distance, but of course could not continue. And this time are back to prove themselves again. So, a fantastic second map. 100 ping gods will be your first team qualifying for Fight Night Season 2. And, well, as we look over on the other side of the bracket, the other match between Unique and Helvete still ongoing. So we don't know your second team qualifying as of yet. But that one should be decided shortly. So for now, thank you everyone for watching. I think we might be covering the final game between 100 ping gods and the winner of Helvete and Unique. But I'm going to have to go and confirm that one. So for now, we'll go for a quick break. And I might be back and say we're covering the final game. And I might be back saying we're not covering the final game. And I'll just update you with the score of the other match. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, thank you everybody for watching. And I'll be right back either way. I'll be right back with you.
since we've been apart. You're the only thing on my mind, my mind.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry that confirmation took a little bit longer than I expected, but we have decided we're not going to be covering the final game, as of course both teams have already qualified, so there's no real incentive in the finals, and it just makes more sense from a competitive standpoint, from an integrity standpoint, to cut it here, as we will be doing in the future qualifiers as well. The other game has just finished too. Unique did beat Helvete 16-9, so it will be 100 Ping Gods and Team Unique, your two teams from this qualifier that will be qualifying to the main event on the 20th to the 27th of August. Featuring a 10k prize pool, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Tomorrow, though, we've got another qualifier, so make sure if you didn't qualify today, you sign up for tomorrow's one and you have another crack at it tomorrow. And any teams that haven't signed up for today, make sure you're getting on that as well. If you're here to just watch, then make sure you're tuning in. It will be from 5 p.m. tomorrow, same schedule as today, and we should be seeing the same level of awesome Counter-Strike to see what two teams qualify in tomorrow's qualifier for the main event. Of course, we will be having two more qualifiers next weekend as well, on the Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you get involved with those ones too. But for now, that's going to be all from us. Make sure you join us at 5 p.m. tomorrow for more CSGO Fight Night action. I've been M&J. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
come.